So I'm Jennifer and this is Craig, and this is our house in Maitland, New South Wales, in our very beautiful and newly designed backyard. Our backyard looked like a very sad 1970s, 1980s bush rock palm, what was once an oasis, I suspect.
That was the trend, and that's what everybody did in the valley in those days. We'd left that in place because we had a house fire, so this was the completion of the process of losing the house in a fire. So yeah, it was. It's been good to complete it, actually.
Yeah, it's been an emotional as well as a practical change for us. Having a vision how it might look more like us and our way of living and our home, but keeping in mind there were lots of structural things in place that were silly to lose or to just throw away on a whim, really. So we wanted to be practical, but also the aesthetics of it mattered to me. I wanted it to be very pretty. One of the things we struggled with was that we had a lot of infrastructure in the yard that was still useful, but it was dated and damaged and crumbling in parts, and so we wanted our yard to be beautiful and to reflect our lifestyle and our new home and the future looking forward, living in our home.
When you're formulating a vision and you don't have any other tools to assist you, other than your imagination really, and then fitting that in within the constraints that were within an existing property, being able to then bring the design team and talk to them about that, and then see that being developed through online tools. That was really very helpful. And so we were able to crystallise the vision as version 1, and then we had a number of iterations. And we did that remotely as well. So sometimes I was linking into meetings from work, and Jennifer was at home and Nigel was somewhere else. So that was quite powerful and very efficient. As a couple, probably formulating a consistent idea was probably one of the greatest challenges. So I had a vision, I suppose, that I took to the design team, and Jennifer had a vision as well. But through the design team and the design process, we were able to bring our two visions together and crystallise a vision that we could then work on. So what we started with was probably our preferred vision, and then we've ended up with an outcome that we're very happy with, but it also recognises the constraints of our property and our financial constraints as well. So that process has been rigorous and also efficient in the sense that we're able to hold meetings from different locations. Even Jennifer and I are in different locations at different times with the design team. So the ability for the design team to work on any properties, no matter where they're located, I think would be quite a powerful tool for them to use. Following COVID, the world's changed, and with the work that I do, we use a whole range of remote tools because we have offices located in different cities. So for me it was relatively straightforward to move into a different environment, like a design environment, but it really wasn't any different to how we did it pre-COVID. It was just online. So we didn't feel like it was inferior in any way.
No. And the creative process didn't suffer at all. You know, you could still talk freely and bring ideas to the table, and we'd send pictures to the design team of looks that we liked, or moods or atmospheres or details, and then they would come back with ideas that sort of blended with what they were working with. We didn't have a blank space to start with, but it was treated like a blank space, and we could see how the design team took it that way and essentially created something fresh from something that wasn't. It was quite outdated. And that was really interesting to see how they were able to do that. That was probably the fun part in hindsight, even though it probably didn't feel like it always at the time, trying to get things right. But we were able to be flexible, and the design team would give us options and to teach us a bit about our own yard, I guess, and materials and textures and shapes. And so working through that in stages and watching it grow in the design as well as in our minds and our imagination was a lot of fun, rather than the daunting process we expected when we began. One of the things that I was concerned about with the design process and beginning this project was that there were so many big practicalities and problems that needed to be addressed that we wouldn't really have something beautiful at the end of it, but we would have fixed our problems. And one of the pieces of advice that Nigel gave us very early on, if not in our first meeting, was to dream big, you know, to free our minds up to think about what could be if we could do anything we wanted in our space. And we really enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of fun. And then throughout the process with Nigel, we could then pare that back, modify that, adjust that, grow that in some instances. And then at one point when we were sort of looking at our budget and we had to pull some things back, it's actually better for that process, because what we finished with is different to what we thought we wanted to begin with, and much better because we were able to take that leap of faith and dream big with Nigel when we were designing.